Hi, I'm Dan Kuschell, and first of all, I am incredibly grateful to be spending a few minutes with you as a contributor to Lifebook. When Sandra asked me to contribute some parenting advice, I was honored. And first of all, I don't claim to be the perfect parent or a great parent. In fact, I don't even strive to be a great parent, if you will. What I'd like to share with you today and what you'll walk away with are what I'll term the idea of lead and grow rich. 4 simple steps to be a better parent and a better leader, right? And, truth be told, I didn't invent any of the things I'm going to share with you. Currently at the time of this recording, I've got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And this journey has been incredible. And I have to say for me that my kids have taught me as much about being a better human being as I think I've been able to teach them. So I want to break this down. The idea is that, the reality is I've made a ton of mistakes as a dad. Overall. And in many ways, I feel like I've gotten a second chance. To give you a little history, since 1992, I've run 11 companies. By nature, I'm a workaholic, right? As Joe Polish calls it, the respectable addiction. And mid-2000s, I was building up 5 companies. And I was working, 80, 90, 100 hours a week. I had my 2-year-old daughter. And one day I woke up 2 weeks after my son was born with some tightness in my chest or pains, and lo and behold, I end up in a hospital 4 days. I have a procedure, and I have to sign the disclaimer from the doctor that says I have a 1 in X chance of dying at the table. And that really freaked me out, frankly, and it was a wake-up call, and I think God has a funny way of doing that, doesn't he? And long and the short of it is, I decided to make some significant changes because, I didn't want to be one of those dads. But for me, I didn't want to be, when my kids would be asked, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, tell us about your dad. Oh, he was a great business person. No, I wanted to hear that I was a dad that was there, right? And so some of the strategies that I'm going to share with you, I think will transform the way you might think about being a better leader and a better parent. Overall. I mean, picture this, what if you had the ability to be able to go out there and really connect with your kids at a deep, deep level, right? And really be present with them in the things that you pursue or the things that you're doing. Or, what if you just had the ability to really be real with them and you could laugh with them and live with them and learn with them, right? Overall, what would that do for you? Well, I can tell you what it's done for me. It's taught me quite a bit about being a better human being. So I want to have you walk out of here with 4 simple steps to lead and grow rich, how you can be a better parent and a better leader. First thing is to realize is that, I would encourage you not to try to be the perfect parent, right? Because I don't think there is such a thing. I think these 4 steps, however, will give you a great foundation to be able to go out there and really have your kids be a part of what it is that they really want. There's this quote that I recall. I used to be cool and do cool things, and now I argue with a smaller version of myself about how to actually use the toilet, right? And in many ways, that's what being a parent can sometimes turn into or lead to, right? And my discovery is that leadership is as leadership does. And I think more than anything, I just try to set an example for my kids. So let's dive into these 4 simple steps. Step 1 is be present, right? Be present. And what I mean by that is when you're with your kids, really be available. In sports, one of the hidden talents that athletes have is availability, right? Because, some guys end up on the injured list a lot. But availability is one of those simple strategies that when you can apply it, especially as a leader, especially as a parent, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So be present with your kids. And so to be present, number 1, and I know in Lifebook you'll learn this as well, is that you've got to be your best self. So what is it going to take for you to be your best self? So for me, there's a handful of things, but one of those things happens to be, being healthy. When I went through this transformation after my heart issue, I lost 65 pounds and have kept it off. And I feel better today than I did in my 30s, right? And it starts with being healthy and identifying what I want for me. Another one is being a great husband. So as much as being a great parent is important, one of the best things I've discovered is the best thing I can lead for my kids is by showing my kids an example of how to act as a husband towards my wife. right? I've gone through divorce in my history, in my past. I've gone through bankruptcy in my past. And it's not whether we get knocked down, it's how we respond to those types of things. So being present is being your best self and then being there when you're with your kids. Not only in quantity time, also in quality time, right? So it's having both. So be present. Step 2 is be normal, right? So as simple as that sounds, be normal. What the hell are you talking about, Dan? Be normal, right? I see some people, and myself, and the reason I bring this up is I think back to my early days as a parent. I was white-knuckling my way to being a great leader or a great parent. Sometimes we can try to smother people. In leadership, I've heard Joe Polish say, you don't get a dog and then bark for it, right? And the same thing holds true in being a parent, right? You don't have kids and then try to do it for them, right? Or live for them. I think I started out that way, and what I've discovered is today I want to live with them, right? I want to enjoy with them, not for them. And I don't want to, pursue things as a result of some of my hidden inhibition. Like, my background is sports, and I'd love my kids to play sports, but at this point, they really haven't taken to a deep level of competitive sports, although they do gymnastics and martial arts and different things, and that's their thing. And so I'm living with them versus trying to force feed it for them. Another thing, as far as being normal, I have them participating, and we participate together in just normal kind of things. So like, we go to breakfast together, right? And they come with me. I take them to the bank, and they get to see how I interact with people. I take them, when we go out to dinner, I bring them into the office. So they get a chance to see what it's like to function as a normal person and interact in a normal type of way. So step 2, as simple as that sounds, is be normal, as well as have normal conversations with them overall. Step 3 is be loving and compassionate, right? People don't care how much we know until they know how much we care, and I think that holds so true to kids, doesn't it? And I know I've been blessed that I had a great role model with my dad, and he always seemed to be there to listen. And so, one of the things I've discovered with my kids as far as being loving and compassionate is I tell my kids frequently, I love you, right? I tell my kids frequently, I'm proud of you. Now, I don't just throw those things out haphazardly. If I tell my kids I'm proud of you, I give them a very specific thing that I'm proud of them for. Like my son, I'm thinking of, martial arts. I'm proud of you that when you got knocked down in your martial arts sparring session, that you got back up and you got right back into it. And that was great to see versus being timid and holding back. And so, it's being very specific in what you recognize or acknowledge with your kids. And again, this is Lead and Grow Rich, 4 simple steps for you to be a better parent and a better leader overall. So again, I'll just review real quick. Be present, step 1. Step 2 is be normal. Step 3 is be loving and compassionate. Step 4 is be active and playful, right? A paradigm to be thinking about as you look at being a better leader and a better parent. Joe Polish says you can have an ELF model or a HALF model. ELF is easy, lucrative, and fun versus HALF, which is hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. I think the whole same thing holds in parenting too, like all relationships. Is it an ELF relationship, easy, lucrative, and fun, or is it HALF, hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating? So as a parent, I want to provide ELF to my kids. Not that it's sunshine and roses every day and unicorns flying around, right? Because there's a time and a place for everything. But it's to be playful, right? To laugh, to be active. And so, the things that my kids and I love to do together is, I take them, we play basketball together. We play baseball together. I just took them to the park here not too long ago. We went out and we took batting practice together, fielding practice together, hit off the tee together. And, we just had a great time just bonding and being together. And it was unstructured. That's the other part. We're playful. We go to movies together. We joke around together overall. And so, these are the 4 simple steps of how you can lead and grow rich and how to be a better parent and a leader. And now that you know the 4 steps, as simple as they may be, I want to challenge you to put these 4 steps in place. And again, just to summarize, it's number 1 is be present. Step 2 is be normal. Step 3 is be loving and compassionate. Step 4 is to be able to go out and be active and playful. And when you put these 4 simple steps in, I know what will happen for you. I mean, is there a greater gift in the world than creating independent kids, right? And as I lead and have built companies, one of the things I share frequently, my goal is to make you independent of me, right? And you know what that means? Is it means that you can't be afraid to have them make mistakes. You have to create a culture and create an environment where they feel comfortable and confident, right? To go at least try and risk and know that there's going to be mistakes and be able to live with that. And by doing so, it creates kids with confidence and certainty and adventure and fun and freedom, in my opinion, right? With the ability to go out and contribute in the world and add value. And, I'm just, really, really proud that I get the opportunity to be a parent, because I know there's a lot of people who'd love to and they don't get that opportunity. I'm incredibly grateful, and I know when you put these 4 simple steps in place, what can happen. And I'll leave you with a couple additional action steps overall. One of the favorite things we love to do at dinner as a family is I have these 5 questions. We don't ask it every single night because it would get a little bit robotic and it wouldn't be step 4, which is playful and active overall. But these 5 questions are a centerpiece of the Kuschell household. And that is, what are you grateful for right now? We love asking each other that question. It's always awesome to hear what's on each other's mind, right? What am I grateful for right now? And you know what? I've discovered that you can reduce, if not eliminate, fear by being grateful. In fact, I don't think you can have fear and gratitude at the same time. So what are you grateful for, and what greater gift to give your children, and you even, or your team as a leader, the gift of being able to overcome fear and insecurity. And gratitude is a great way to do that. So what are you grateful for right now? Number 1 question. Number 2, what are you happy about right now? What are you happy about right now? Number 3 is, what have you done well today? Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I found myself beating myself up quite a bit over the years. And this question has become a center point, a focal point to stay in positive momentum. So what am I grateful for? What am I happy about? What have I done well today? And then I've got these other questions from a couple of our Genius Network members with Joe Polish's company. And Maria and her husband shared these with me on a trip that we were out together at. And this question is, what mistakes did you make today, right? I grew up in a household where mistakes were actually, not really recognized and appreciated, I'll just say. And what I've learned to do, and I've learned and discovered that you can embrace mistakes. And kids just love it. My kid's favorite question of these 5, by the way, is this one. What mistakes did you make today? And they love talking and bragging about their mistakes, right? And then the last one is, what did you learn from it? So what am I grateful for today? What am I happy about today? What have you done well today? What mistakes did you make today? And what did you learn from it? And guess what? My wife and I, the kids, we all play full on when we go through these questions together. And it's a great bonding experience, great opportunity. I want to challenge you as a bonus, if you will, in addition to taking action with these 4 steps. Put these 5 questions in place in your life at breakfast or dinner or both and see what happens for you. And I know what's in store. It's one of the greatest gifts in the world to build great people, because when you build great people, there's no limit, and there's no greater people to be able to build than your kids. And I'm just incredibly grateful. Put the 4 steps in place. Step 1, be present. Step 2, be normal. Step 3, be loving and compassionate. Step 4, be playful and active. And then put the 5 questions in place. What am I grateful for? What am I happy about? What have I done well today? What mistakes did you make today? And what did you learn from it? And watch what happens. Bigger impact, bigger contribution, more certainty, more confidence, more creativity, right? That you'll channel from your kids by being there and available to them. Thank you. Enjoy your day. We'll see you soon.